Viktor Frankl was a psychologist born in Poland. In World War II, the Nazis rolled into Poland one day and took control of his country. They took Viktor, all of his family, all of his friends, and they took them prisoner. And they loaded them up on a train. And they set them off on this train, and Viktor said they were just loaded into a big boxcar with all their possessions that they could carry, and they rode almost 20 hours straight inside this boxcar. They got no food, no waters, no bathroom breaks. 20 hours in this boxcar. When they got out, the Nazis took everyone in the boxcar and they divided them up, and they put them in one line of men, and then they put another line with women and children in it. And then the Nazis were very nice to everyone. They were very kind to them, and they went through and they talked to them politely, and they talked every one of these scared people that had no clue where they were, had no clue what was going to happen to them. They talked them out of all their possessions, their jewelry, their watches. The people were handing it over because these soldiers were being so nice to them. And once the soldiers got everything from the people, all their possessions that had any value, that was the last time the soldiers were nice. The next thing that happened, Viktor said that the line of men had to file by a Nazi officer. And the officer simply held up a finger, and he would point left or right. And as the men approached, they would break off and go stand in the line with the women, or they would go stand in a separate line. And what the guy was doing is he was looking at the men and deciding who would be fit for the work camps and who was too old, too injured, too crippled, and not fit to go and work in the work camps. Viktor made it in the line to go work. All the women, all the children, and the other men that couldn't go work were then taken over to a nice building. They were escorted into a nice area where they could go in and take showers. But as you and I both know, they never came out. Viktor didn't know it that day, but that was the last time he would see his family alive. And he would not know this. He would not know that they had died that day for several years. Viktor went on to the work camps with the rest of the men, and there he stayed in the work camps for 3 years. He was given one ration of pea soup a day, one slice of bread, and that was all the food that he and his comrades got. They were given clothes and boots when they got there, and that was it. They weren't given any more clothes until they were just falling off of them. If a shoestring broke, they would scramble around and get wire just to wire their shoes up, just to hold the shoes on their feet, because they worked 7 days a week, every day of the year, in the rain, in the sleet, in the snow, in the heat. They worked building roads every day. Well, you can imagine under this kind of labor and under that small value of nutrition that these guys quickly physically dwindled. And Viktor calculated his odds of survival in that camp at 1 out of 32. One person out of every 32 would survive that camp. And then he wondered why. Why did some survive and some not? And here's what he found out. The ones that survived, the ones that made it, found a reason for their suffering, found a reason for all this horrible things that they were going through. You know, it might have been to get out and see my family. It might have been, I'm going to make it through this so I can tell the rest of the world so this kind of thing never happens to another group of people again. But they found a reason for their suffering. They didn't sit there and take pity on themselves. The ones that felt sorry for themselves and wondered why me wouldn't last. And cigarettes were used in the camp as currency. They were traded. No one smoked cigarettes because they were too valuable. You could trade them to the guards for different things, right? And so Victor said when he would realize someone had given up is when they were sitting off to the side by themselves, smoking all of their cigarettes. See, you and I have the power to choose what things mean to us. You know, I'm no expert on the good book, but it does tell us it's going to rain on the just and the unjust. It's going to rain on all of us. Good, bad, doesn't matter. We're going to get rain in our lives. And the question is, not why is this happening, but what am I going to do about it? How am I going to handle it? How am I going to receive it? Am I going to learn from this and get better from this? Am I going to figure out there's a reason I'm going through this trial? Or am I going to just have pity on myself and cry, why me? And eventually, with that mindset, go sit down at the edge of the camp and smoke all of my cigarettes and expire. So you and I have the power to decide what things mean to us. We don't have the power to choose what happens to us all the time, because sometimes things happen to us that are totally out of our control. Other people control them. Other events control them. They're out of our control. But we always can decide what it means to us. I hope you have an awesome rest of the day. And next time you get some rain in your life, maybe you'll look at it a little bit differently. How can I learn from what's going on?